Labour's Britain is now the worst in the world in shutting down, suppressing, and repressing free speech. Hello, I'm Chan Abraham, and on this channel, I'm bringing you a range of thoughts and reflections to help and encourage, as well as to stimulate discussion and free thought. Well, it was Jordan Peterson, renowned intellectual of the 21st century, who in a recent interview with GB News said these things. Jordan Peterson said that the UK has gone further with threats to free speech than maybe anywhere in the West. Now, here in Britain, we know we have had problems for some time. There have been threats to put people in prison if they speak in a certain way about certain things. And of course, some people, tragically, have indeed been incarcerated. It seems that we can't even mention some of their names now for risk of our channels and our videos and our speech being shut down. But this is absolutely astonishing and egregious and unacceptable. Now, there was a time, and this led to the signing of the Magna Carta in this country, when the power of the state, of government, embodied in the king, had to be challenged. At that time, it was the nobles, the barons who did that. But the progress of English and British history since that time has been to create for us a system of parliamentary democracy that means that we have the opportunity, you and I, the people of this nation, the ones who own our British Isles, we have the ability to send our representatives to Parliament in order to represent us. At this point, many of you will be saying, well, it doesn't happen. And you're right, it doesn't. But that doesn't mean that the system is wrong. It means that what's gone wrong is the people. And so we have got to get back to a place where those who represent us truly do so because they are here for us. That was one of the reasons why I stood as the independent MP in Huntingdon in Cambridgeshire. I made it clear I would not be bribed or bullied or blackmailed or bought. Independent, truly independent. And I believe there's still a place for independents or people in political parties, not the legacy ones, but people who are on the centre-right, people who hold for traditional Christian British values, who will think independently and truly represent the people in their constituencies. So let's come back to freedom of speech. This is very serious because Peterson went on to say that in relation to Starmer's refusal and the whole of the Labour government and the party to have a proper national inquiry into the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs, we can't use the R word and the S word, but you know what they have been doing to young British girls. Starmer absolutely refused to have a national inquiry. Now they're backpedaling on that somewhat, but we shall see whether they do a complete U-turn. And Peterson said, this is exactly what you'd expect from someone who holds his position. It's nothing new. I think in the UK, things have gone further with regard to threats to freedom of expression than anywhere in the West. Although Canada is doing its best to play catch-up, maybe New Zealand, it's in keeping with that's Starmer's ethos. It's not surprising, and it's appalling. There are hard questions that need to be asked and answered about multiculturalism, and no one is willing to have the discussion. This is what happens when naive, demented, and self-righteous multiculturalism takes the upper hand. When the upper class is willing to sacrifice the poor, and the upper class really means people who are wielding power here. When the upper class is willing to sacrifice the poor to their own moral presumptions, it's appalling in every possible way. It indicates something truly hideous beneath the surface, not only on the R gang side, but obviously on the side of the authorities that conspire to keep it a secret. Dreadful, pathological, inexcusable. And that's where we are in Britain today. We have a situation where the establishment in all its forms, parliamentarians, the judiciary, the police, the media, institutions, local authorities, social workers, people who should know better, those who we put our trust in to keep our children safe, have failed. And it's been going on for many years. So we, the British people, need to stand up, stand together. We are the resistance, peaceful and lawful. This is our nation. We want it back. We want it back from the globalists. We want it back from those whose only interest is to take advantage and to use their positions of power for their own selfish, self-centered purposes. In order to do that, we must have complete freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We do not want to be top of the league table across the nations of the world in suppressing, repressing, and preventing free speech. So I call upon all the people of our great nation to come together and to make our voices heard. Join the Free Speech Union, write to your member of parliament, contact your local media organisation, your local press, write to the BBC and to all the other media companies. Meet together, talk together, speak openly, challenge the negativity that's coming out from government, parliament, the civil service and other public institutions, and let's stand up for what we believe and what we know are our God-given rights. Let's have free speech and freedom of expression here in Britain.